Good morning, everyone. Good Tevach, Shavua Tov. We are continuing here in KITZUR HILCHOS. We're in the malach of Maimer of gathering. And he writes like this, Nispazu Peros, if the Peros have been spread out. Misha Nispazu Perosav, Bebeisai, Oy Bechatzer Echad, Heina Ve'echad Heina. If you have Peros, you have fruits that were spread out in your house, or in your chutzner, or in your courtyard, one over here, one over there. Asa lekabtzem, you're not allowed to gather them. V'litnem l'teich kupai oisal, and put them in a box or a basket. V'atam mishum uvda dochel, and the reason is, it's something called uvda dochel. It's a weekday type of activity that you are doing. Meaning that the reality is, it's not the same kind of mimer, the same type of gathering that takes place in the fields when you're gathering and you're putting them into piles and the like. But since that your action resembles the uvda dochel, the weekday action that you do when you do mimer, therefore there's a gezer, there's a decree that you're not allowed to do that on Shabbos either. Umikol makom, nevertheless, kashenaflu b'bayis, if your fruits fall in the house, it could be that there's a heter, there's a permissibility to put them into your lap, or your ksus, or into your clothing. Hold on in that way. Even though that we allow you to gather them when they're in the house, because it's certainly not like gathering them outside in the fields. If you'd be able to gather them together easily in the way of a shinui, of the kind of backhanded way, you should still use a shinui, the backhanded way, the not regular way to do it, because at the end of the day, because there are those opinions that hold that even in the house, even in a place where the peros, where the fruits are not growing, shayech is gamkein meleches maimer, the malacha of maimer of gathering still applies. Like I've written above in two little notes before this. So that means, says the KITZUR, that wherever you could limit the action that you're doing appearing like the malacha of maimer, a person should do, even though that in your house you're allowed to gather. But when you gather, you do it in a way that still is with a shinui, second best way, like the roundabout way to do it, and that way you will avoid looking like mimer altogether. Because all of that is if some fruit falls over here and some falls over there. But if they fall in a way that it all falls down together as one, so you have like your fruits fell out of your bag and they fell into a pile on the floor. In that case, you can even just pick them up and put them directly into a basket or a box, because there's no gathering that is done. When they're in different places in the house and you have to go around and actually gather them up, so even though you're inside and you're not in the area, the place where they ended up growing, still, we look at it, we made a gezer that looks like mimer, and therefore you should avoid it. If you have to do it, you do it with a shinui. But if they all fell into one pile in one place, there's no gathering that is going on, and therefore you can pick them up and put them directly into a basket or a box. Nevertheless, that's as long as dirt and rocks and dirt have not gotten mixed up together with this pile of fruits. She has also lit name because then you would not be allowed to put them into your lap or into your clothing. In that case, everything's going to be because of uvda dochel. That's the weekday thing where we try to remove. Either you're going to remove the fruits from the dirt and the dust, or you're going to pick it all up together, and that would also be a problem over there of dirt and the dust being muktzah, certainly the rocks being muktzah. But the Maisa says, the KITZUR over here, it looks too much like a weekday activity, and therefore in that case you would not be allowed to do it. Have a wonderful day.